Is it on?
Oh, wait, here we go. Hang on, wait, stop. It's coming.
I'm just trying to get this on there, make sure.
Here it is.
Hey.
My goodness. Technical difficulties, everybody. So sorry. It's been a hot minute since we've done one of these, and we got a new computer since we've done our last one. And they also had to update some of the software since we've done our last live. So my apologies. We have not got all our ducks in a row this go round. So let's see. Can you guys hear us? Can you see us okay? Let me hear from you guys. We'll try to make this brief, but long enough so that we get across some of the points that we wanted to talk about. Hopefully you guys didn't all leave, because I said we were going to do this on another day, but right after I said that, of course, figured out how to make it work. Let's see. Hopefully we still got some of you guys with us here. I don't know where my chat is now. My gosh, why does this have to be so complicated? Uncle Rob, are you there?
Hey, there you go. Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Stay on this one?
I think so. Yeah.
It's just delayed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Rob, I don't know. Somebody let me know you're there.
I said hello.
Hello, Uncle Rob, Overland Generation. Is there anybody else out there?
Okay, there we go.
Okay, hey, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Is it Kyung Kang? Are you there? Can you guys hear us okay? Okay, good. Uncle Rob can still see us and hear us. Okay, so sorry guys. I know this is a little rocky to get started here. Technical difficulties. It's been a minute since we've done one of these, and it seems like everything's changed since we've done it last, so I'm really sorry. But I think we got it up and running.
All right, let's jump onto this since we're about 15 minutes behind here, and it's getting dark.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah, so it's 5:15. We're 15 minutes behind. Sorry. Maybe some other people will hop on in here and see that we're still doing this even after I told y'all to go away, but come back. All right, so let's just kind of recap a little bit about, what we've been up to and what the past couple months have been like. We ended our video series with my parents visiting us in Yellowstone and Utah and the Grand Canyon. And we alluded to a bit of a new project on the horizon as we bid our farewell with them. And we are super excited to announce that we've got a new project coming. And I'll let Kurt tell you a little bit about what it is. We've mentioned this a little bit already on Instagram, so if you do follow us over there, you probably already got a heads up, but we haven't really made it public on YouTube yet. So, Kurt, what are we doing?
All right, so we're going to be building out a Ram 5500 chassis cab. They're actually putting a 14-foot Morgan box on the back, and we hopefully will be able to pick it up this week. So, as you know, the van is for sale. So we're going to be building out the box truck. We call it Macho, and trying to get rid of Grand Rojo.
Or Big Red, or Grand Roja, or Clifford. Depending on which family member you ask, our Big Red van has a few different names. So
yeah, we'll be videoing it, keeping you guys updated, and yeah, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, we're super excited. So it's a bit of a bittersweet moment, and didn't think that we would come to this point in our travels so soon, but that's why we're doing this now. And there's a few things the van can't give us, and one of those is 4-wheel drive. The other is that we're a little limited in the payload. And the boys are getting bigger, and they can't we can't get more space out of the van. So in order to make our family a little more comfortable for long-term travel and this lifestyle, we don't see us giving it up anytime soon, we decided to go ahead and purchase a Ram 5500 while we had the opportunity to do so, because if we didn't jump on it, it was going to be gone. There were only, how many available when we looked?
Yeah, not many.
There weren't very many in the whole country available, and by the time we got to the dealership, there were only 2 left. One had already left, so this was the last one, and we decided we had to pull the trigger because it probably wasn't going to be there if we waited too much longer. So one of those opportunities you just have to jump on, and the timing was a little sooner than we thought it would be, but you know what? That's kind of how this whole journey goes. You can have a plan A, you can have a plan B, and sometimes you still don't even end up doing whatever plan C was. So we are excited now. It's going to give us more space. Like I said, 4-wheel drive, more payload, which means we can bring more toys, and a little bit more space for everybody. So that's kind of our big secret that we haven't really made public until now on YouTube. So there you guys go. What do you guys think? I really don't want to say goodbye to the van. We have a lot of kind of sentimental ties to it, but we've been through this once with the Tacoma. We had to say goodbye to our house and all of our other belongings, so it's kind of become one of those things where you just learn to let go. It is a thing in the end, and you can't necessarily tie yourself to things so much. So as much blood, sweat, and tears went into building Big Red, we're going to find a good home for her, and we're going to get serious now about selling it. While we were gone for the past month, we weren't really trying to push the sale of Big Red. So now we're getting serious, and we got to find her a good home. Angie, what's up? Thanks, girl. I'm glad you're able to tune in. And thank you guys all for bearing with us through our technical difficulties. So yeah, box truck. Tell me what you guys think. Is that something that you thought was gonna happen? Did you pick up on the subtle hints here and there that we dropped throughout our last videos at the end of the year there? Or is this gonna be a big surprise? I wanna know.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to just another chapter, right? To what we want to do, and you know, she summed it up good. It's gonna make things a lot better for us.
Yeah, and Kurt thinks that he can do it, hopefully, in 30 days. So a month to build this thing out.
In the desert.
And that's the other part. Tell him where we are, and tell him how you're going to do this.
Yeah, so we're on state trust land just north of Phoenix. And a good buddy of ours, Will, Sir William Goes, has helped out tremendously so far. He drove across country from North Carolina to Phoenix to drop off tools for us so we could work on this box truck. So
yeah, shout out Sir William. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Go check out his channel. He's traveling in a 4Runner, and he's kind of like definitely minimalist style, overlanding. Don't need a whole lot of gear. You can do it with just your car, basically. Yeah. So he's got a lot of good insight on how to make it work with the bare necessities.
So yeah, and living this lifestyle, it's hard to make plans. So we're not really sure how things are going to pan out. Do I need to build it in 30 days? Do I have more time? I like to just get it done. Is the best thing, is just try to move forward and get it done as fast as we can. But we got to, right now we're in the van. So if we sell the van, is it going to be built out enough that we can move into it, or are we going to need to rent like a Airbnb or something? If we do that, then it'll be back up to, we got to get this thing done ASAP.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be, just got to join along, man. It's just going to be a ride, and interesting, and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just like everything else. I know Kurt's going to do an excellent job in building it out. I'll help a little bit, but for the most part, I'll be filming and just trying to stay out of his way so that he can do what he needs to do. You know what my job is.
It's such a different role, though, building this, but what we're building now. What's your job?
I was going to say my job is just to handle the paint because that's about all you'll
I don't
really
like painting.
trust me to do with it anyway. So
No, you'll help. I think it'll be good. But it's totally different than having a house and a shop to work on the van and having a year or as much time as we need it to work on it to something where we got to get into it. So the whole mindset of building this thing out is way different.
yeah, and I think that materials, as long as we can get materials, we can probably do it in the time frame that he expects. That's going to be the big question mark, is if we can get stuff in at a decent time or if stuff's on back order, like the toilet, for example. We had to order that thing back in October, I think it was, because they had a 12-week back order.
It's 19 weeks now as of today. I checked,
and it still hasn't shipped.
A toilet, so things, but I think that's our only snag food. I think everything else will be good. Just lumber's expensive and things. We're not doing the 80-20 because it'll take 4 to 6 weeks to get 80-20 and just really slow things down. So I need to be able to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or a building supply place and just really dive into this thing and get it done.
Yeah, and yeah, you can do it. Well, we'll make it work. It ain't gonna be fancy like. Well, I don't think our van is fancy, but the van is nice. Yeah. And the box truck will be nice, but it might not be to the level of our van here. Yeah. So, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. So let's move on. Van is for sale. We would really appreciate you guys and spreading that word. We do have her listed on RV Trader. We've got a website, overlanduncharted.com. It's got all the information that you could want to know about the van, the specs, the ins and outs, all the features about it. I'll probably put it in the description here of this video too, so you can go back and check it out. We've got a van tour video up on our channel as well. It's about 40 minutes long, but there are timestamps in there too, so if you're looking for something specific or wanted to show somebody a certain part of it, it's all in there. So we would appreciate any shares and just getting the word out there that Big Red is, yes, for sale, and asking price or best offer is kind of where we're at right now. We've had some traffic, but nothing too serious in terms of offers. So you could be the first. All right, so let's really get into the nitty-gritty of what we wanted to talk about, and that was our time in Mexico. We went down to Mexico. We had originally planned on driving down Baja to Cabo San Lucas in the van, but then we decided to buy the truck. And we figured, if we're going to sell the van, then we probably shouldn't drive it and put all the miles on it going down to Cabo. So we looked at flights. We found that flights were pretty affordable. And then we looked at Airbnbs, and then we kind of did the math, and we figured between gas and driving the van, putting the miles on it, it would almost be cheaper or just as expensive to get an Airbnb. What we didn't plan on was having to stay an extra week because our whole family got COVID while we were down there. So I know that's probably what you guys really want to know, how we handled that and how that happened. But let's talk a few things first about Mexico that we really liked and wanted to share with you guys. Why don't you tell them a little bit about what we did, number one?
All right, well, we had my sister came down from Nashville, and then we had a couple that came down as well. Andreas and his wife Marlene came down, and that's kind of, we got down on a Monday, they came on Tuesday, and I figure Andreas would want to go out and do things and kind of do the touristy stuff, so we rode on a camel. We did some ATV riding around on the beach. Went to Lovers Beach. Let's see, there was a Christmas celebration that we went to, which was pretty cool.
And that was in the other part. That was in
San Jose del Cabo.
Yes.
Okay. And let's see, we went fishing. Andreas caught a big marlin. So that was fun.
And then we got that marlin smoked, so we could eat and snack on it for the rest of the time that we were there, and it was delicious.
Yeah, which I didn't know you could eat marlin, but I guess striped marlin, you can get it smoked, and it was really good. Let's see. We rode around. We took a car up to La Paz. Went to Hotel California. The place up in La Paz. Do you remember the name of that bay?
Playa Balandra. It's this beautiful, shallow, like waist to chest high, shallow bay, turquoise water. You can see basically right down to the sand, and you can walk from one end of the bay all the way to the other end. So we actually got there real early and watched the sunrise up on one of the cliffs of Playa Balandra. And then our private hired Uber driver for the day took us into La Paz and took us to a local spot to eat breakfast at kind of a local spot down there, and then took us back to the playa, and we spent the day there. And then he took us down to Todos Santos, where Hotel California is, and then we had one of the best restaurants that we ate at the entire trip there, and the food was absolutely phenomenal. Again, it was a local spot. Like, all the Hispanics were there. You didn't see a ton of gringos eating there. So after that, what else did we do? We had a whale watching tour, dinner, cruise, sunset thing one night. That was really cool, watching the blue whales jump, and they fed us and gave us...
Had a little music, and Andreas did a little dancing.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yep.
We had quite a few beach days. Of course, Medano Beach is the big one down there in Cabo San Lucas, where all the cruise ships kind of park out, and they boat people in for the day. We went out to another beach, Santa Maria, I believe it was, and there's no vendors there. Everywhere around Medano Beach and the marina is just littered with vendors wanting you to buy their stuff, so they will hassle you. It's like kind of borderline harassment. So it is what it is. You kind of have to respect the fact that they're just trying to earn a living and feed their families. But, you know, when you walk by somebody 3 or 4 times and tell them no, you think they'd get the picture that, I'm sorry, no, not right now. But yeah, it is what it is. So that was kind of incessant. I didn't stop. And then we ate a ton of tacos, a ton of really good seafood tacos. And I think that was probably our favorite part about our entire time in Mexico was the food.
Yeah. Shocking how good the food was. I didn't know what to expect, but if you can get away from the marina and kind of get in the downtown streets, it's the food's good, man. We even went to places where there's like 2 tables.
Yeah, it
Cash
felt like
only,
you were
2 tables.
kind of in somebody's backyard, and everything is outdoor out there. It's all outdoor dining, and it's really cool in terms of the ambiance that they create. They have, you know, lights strung up, and the tables are so vibrant with their runners and the plates that they choose to use. You sit down, and the first thing that they put in front of you are like fresh baked tortilla chips and 2 or 3 different salsas, or sometimes more. And every restaurant had a different salsa. And some were really spicy, some were kind of medium, and then some were very, very, very mild. And it was just this array that they'd put out everywhere we went. And it was so cool because I've never been anywhere like that. So, you know, I'm not much of a spicy food eater. Kurt really is more into that. But I think after this trip, my taste buds have evolved a little bit to expect a little bit of spice. So we actually got back, and I made some omelets the other morning, and I thought, this is too bland. I need a little spice to it. So all I had was Tabasco sauce. So I put a little Tabasco on there, and
nice.
Yeah, who knew? I mean, Mexico changed me, I guess.
No preservatives. Just things were fresh and good. I was surprisingly shocked with the food.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to share this live stream on our Instagram channel because it's different than the original one that I shared because we had some technical difficulties. So bear with me just 1 second. I apologize. I don't even know if I can do this, but oh, there it is. Share. Copy link. Okay. Tell them about the different types of tacos that we had, Kurt, real quick. You guys are going to like this as far as the different meats are considered, because one of our favorite places, you probably wouldn't guess it.
So we had smoked marlin, We had normal chicken, there was shrimp, fish, octopus was a big one. And then you kind of got into a little bit of the more unique meats like beef head, tongue, they had heart. Let's see, what else? What else has heart?
Did you say
That's
tongue? You say tongue?
Yeah, beef head.
Neck.
They have neck.
Oh, that's head. That was cabeza. Cabeza, corazon, which is heart, and lingua, which is tongue. You said octopus.
Yep.
Nopales.
Marlin.
You want to talk about the nopales?
Yeah, and the nopal. So
which
you
is
the cactus.
Cactus. It's prickly pear cactus, which they do have a little bit of that in some Mexican restaurants in the States, but not to the extent that they serve it down there. It's everywhere. They have them in Walmart. They have a lady chopping up the nopales in Walmart, and she's got the little spiky things, the pokies, already taken off of it, and they're just chopping it up. So I bought 2 leaves while we were down there, and I ended up making it with just about every omelet that we made because they're that much better with nopales.
Yeah. So let's see what other, and I guess like the actual corn tortilla were different too in each place, kind of like the salsa.
Mm-hmm.
So every place had it was just very unique. And then outside of the tacos, we had like a big fish boat thing that had sea bass, and it had like bacon wrapped with
shrimp or something or other.
Yeah, shrimp with cheese in it. I mean, it was just some amazing.
Can y'all see that?
Some amazing food.
Yeah. It was pretty awesome. So we definitely got spoiled, and tacos will never be the same here anymore. We've been given the filet mignon of the best tacos ever, so they just, Mexican restaurants here probably won't compare. We'll be counting down the days so we get to go back. Some friends of ours, Drifter, I don't think you guys are on here, but if you watch this in the future, thank you for doing your videos. This is Drifter Journey. They also have a YouTube video and
YouTube channel.
Excuse me, a YouTube channel. And we learned from them quite a few of the places and taco joints to go find down there, because they're like experts. They've been down there several times, and they've got a lot of good information about it. So thank you guys for sharing that information. We never found the blue truck, or actually we found him on the last day on the way to the airport.
Yep.
We found him, and it was too late. So it's just another reason to go back. Hopefully he still has the same blue truck. So if you guys have any questions, anyone that's watching, go ahead and chime in as we're going through this. We're just kind of informally going through it, but let's get into what really happened.
Yeah.
The COVID. The COVID struck us in Mexico, and this is one of my fears of us going down there. I never wanted to verbalize it or say it out loud because I didn't want to speak it into existence, but some things you just can't control, and you know what? It's okay. It's going to be okay.
We didn't know if we've already had it or anything too, so...
Yeah, we didn't. We've been on the road for the past year, right? So that was the other cool thing. We actually celebrated our 1-year anniversary of being on the road while we were in Mexico. That was the day we were supposed to fly back, but we couldn't because somebody kept testing positive for COVID. So it actually started...
a week into the trip. So we got there on a Monday. That Sunday, we were out fishing, and we get a text from my sister saying that Logan threw up and was tired and just sleeping. And so I didn't think much about maybe the food or the water or whatever. And then we got back, and Luke was, a little tired, but doing all right. And the next day, they were good. But the next day, I got a little congested. And so I was talking to my dad and just saying, I just kind of feel a little crummy. And he's like, well, didn't you say you brought some tests or whatever? And I was like, yeah. He's like, just test yourself. You never know.
Before we left here in Arizona, they were giving out free COVID tests at some of the local libraries. So we picked a few up thinking that those were going to be sufficient to get us back into the United States because of the travel what's the word? The travel mandates. Thank you. The travel mandates. You have to have a negative COVID test to get back into the United States. Mexico doesn't have any restrictions to get down there at all. So you hop on a plane, you get to Mexico, you do your time, but to get back to the United States, you have to have a negative COVID test. So the free tests that we got at the library were actually just self-administered tests for at-home use.
Yeah.
There was no electronic portion of it where somebody watches you take the test and you actually get any kind of like electronic documentation that would suffice to get us on the plane to get us back to the United States. So, long story short, we had to buy other tests that would fulfill that requirement, but
it was basically the same test, and the reason we were trying to do that, I guess, since we're talking about the test, is we didn't want to get our brains picked out and then have to try to find some place. We heard it was kind of expensive to get tested to get back. So we just wanted to kind of do it on our own, and then you have an app and they watch you do it, and just thought it'd be a lot more convenient and simple. But let's get back to the COVID portion. So the boys, Sunday not feeling good. I started getting a little congested on Monday. I took one on Tuesday and it was positive, and then Jen took one, it was negative. And
at the time,
and then she came down with it that Saturday.
Well, it was really Friday night. It was New Year's Eve.
Saturday, she was headache. I just still had like the congestion. It wasn't that big of a deal. The boys had it just the one day. But you want to talk about how your symptoms?
You know, we're old and we don't party much, so staying up till midnight is a little bit out of our comfort zone. But we stayed up till midnight on New Year's Eve, and I had actually fallen asleep like maybe an hour before midnight, and then I woke up, and when I woke up, that's when I knew something wasn't right. I got a real sore throat. I kind of got that feverish feeling, like the whole body started kind of to ache and just feel weak a little bit. And so we went to bed, and I thought, I'm so tired, surely I'm going to sleep really good tonight, and I slept like crap. I woke up with the biggest headache I think I've ever had in my life. I don't drink a lot, but I would probably allude to it as like the worst hangover headache I ever had. And I don't get migraines either, but I imagine that's what one felt like. It was awful. It was like incapacitating. I couldn't hardly function. I stayed in the bed all day. I took some Advil. It knocked it down just a little bit. Started to feel better by that afternoon, just a tad, but I had been running a fever all day long too, so my entire body just kind of
You're achy.
Felt weak. My legs ached crazily. Like I felt like I had run a marathon, and I was just laying in bed, and they were just so uncomfortable, like restless leg syndrome or something. I couldn't get comfortable. And then I had this really weird ache in my hips, kind of like childbirth pain. That's what it felt like to me when I have given birth. I've felt pain in my hips a lot. So between the legs feeling like I'd ran a marathon and my hips aching, I was just kind of all sort of out of whack. The next day, fever started to break. But I had gotten up that next morning. I still had a headache, a really bad headache. I'd gotten up the next morning to go brush my teeth, and then all of a sudden, I had to just sit down on the ground. I felt like I was about to pass out. I think my blood pressure dropped and tanked. My legs from the knees down and my arms from my elbow to my hands just went numb. And I've gotten that feeling before, like if I'm in a lot of pain or if I feel like I'm about to pass out, but it's never been that bad. So he had to help me to the bathroom, and he had to help me back to the bed, and then back to the bathroom one more time. And I just sat on the toilet because I wasn't sure if I had to go to the bathroom or not, and my legs were numb. Thankfully, that subsided. I don't know if I was hyperventilating too, and that kind of made it worse, but it subsided within maybe about 30 minutes, and I just got back in bed for the rest of the day. But the fever did break. And then the third day, I was left with still a headache, but was feeling pretty well closer to normal. And then I started to get a cough, and the throat was still kind of sore and achy, but I never had any kind of nasal drainage, and I never lost my smell. I never lost my taste, which he did a little bit.
A little bit. It was kind of weird, but I don't know if it was you're used to what something tastes like, so your brain kind of overruns what you really taste or smell, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an orange, but am I really tasting the orange sort of thing? It was weird.
We have this mineral deodorant that smells like lavender, and he couldn't
I can
smell
smell
it. And he handed it to me and said, "Can you smell this?" I said, "Yeah." And I said, "You can't smell that."
I
It's
smelled
just
it for like
weird.
a split second, and then it went away. And then each day I could smell it for a little bit longer, and then it went away. So it was
So he
weird.
had completely different symptoms than I did.
And and then the boys too.
And long story short, I fully recovered. I think on day 4 or 5, I felt well enough to get up and go walk outside. And, we didn't go anywhere during this time. We were pretty much kept up in the Airbnb. And thankfully, it was a house that was fully equipped with everything we need. And we could go to the rooftop, get some sunshine, vitamin D. We could go walk around the community if we needed to. And that made me feel better. And I know it made him feel better. Yeah. I hate sitting still. I get cabin fever. And, I'm just an active person. I can't sit still. So, I'm jonesing to get back into the gym or do some kind of exercise after day 2 or 3 of laying around. So, all we have now is maybe just a little bit of a lingering cough, which isn't bad, but for the most part, I feel back to normal.
So that Saturday, so that next week, we're supposed to leave on Thursday, yeah. So you got to get the test 24 hours. So we had, like I said, we brought those home tests, and then we had the ones with the app that you actually are, so you can get back to the U.S. So I said, well, Jen, you test you because you're the last one that had symptoms, and if you're still positive, then we need to figure out what's going on. So she was still positive, so they were like, well, you need to wait another 7 days. So my sister, she ended up testing negative. She's fully vaccinated plus the booster, so she flew home. We went down to and got another resort down closer to the marina because where we were staying was outside of town, and we had to Uber back and forth. Yeah. So we wanted to get someplace where we could walk around and we didn't have to Uber everywhere. So we got checked in there. We stayed another week, but we're trying to do the same thing. The day before, we needed to have the negative test. So she tested. I was like, you take the test, and she tested positive. Again, we're supposed to fly out the next day. So we took a walk on the beach, just trying to figure out what's our next step. And I was like, there's a hospital up the road. Let's go up there and see what they have to say. So we went up there. We didn't get the best of news. And he goes, well, there's another hospital around the corner. So we went there, and it's actually St. Luke.
St. Luke's.
So, yeah. So, Luke, I guess. Maybe it's just meant to be. So we went over there, and the doctor's like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, you've had symptoms since then. Yeah, you should be good. What we can do is we can do the PCR test, and then if you're still positive, we can write you a letter from the doctor of recovery. So basically, you still have some particles, some virus particles, but you're not contagious because it's been a while since you've even had symptoms, and since your first symptom sort of thing, you've kind of waited out that window that they recommend. So I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to test positive or negative. I said, I'm pretty sure the kids will be negative. So I was like, since we're here, we had like a 2 o'clock deadline, and it's like 1 o'clock, I was like, let's just all 4 of us just take it so we can write a letter if one of us or all 4 of us need it or whatever. So we ended up doing that. We got the test results back at like 9:30 at night.
Yeah. I was starting to get worried because we hadn't heard from them. So I had called. And
to see.
Right after I called, they emailed us the results, and I'm going through each of them.
Right. So she was still positive.
I was still positive.
We were negative. So she had to go in the morning to get the letter.
Morning that we were supposed to fly out. I had to go down first thing, 8 a.m., talk to the doctor. He kind of just did a quick physical exam, took my vitals, talked to me how I was feeling, and everything was normal. So, it cost us $90 per PCR.
Plus we bought the test to go down there.
And
plus the recovery
letter cost me an additional $75. So we paid for it.
Stay a week.
And we had to pay, of course, the Airbnb, but we got it at a good deal. So, it is what it is.
It was a mess.
We paid for this. Here's the kicker. So we flew American Airlines out of Phoenix down to Cabo San Lucas. Kurt's sister flew Delta, and Andreas flew Delta.
Wife, yeah.
So for them to get back on the plane, they had to show proof of their negative COVID tests. For American Airlines, all we had to do, and this was unbeknownst to me, I wasn't sure how this was going to go. All we had to do was sign an attestation form that we tested negative. They never once asked us to see proof of our negative test.
Or the doctor's note,
or the doctor's note, nothing, right? Like, all, I mean, we could have fibbed the whole way and just clicked the little yes button, I tested negative, and signed our name electronically and gotten back home. Which we did things the right way.
Yeah, it's not the right way to do it.
It's not the right way. Yeah. And we did things the right way, but we just couldn't believe that after all that we went through and the stress that it caused trying to get home, the money that we spent on these things, they never once asked for a negative test.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I guess they could have randomly audited anybody that they wanted to. But you know what? We're back home. We're safe. We flew back on my birthday. So, that was like the best birthday present. Yeah. I just wanted to get home safe and sound. And, I was ready to be back in the van, believe it or not. As much as we enjoyed the seafood and the tacos and the warm weather, we got back to Phoenix and like the lows are, in the 50s? Right?
Yeah, and it's been high as 60, 70. It's been freezing.
Yeah, so we're down
like
there
80s.
in Cabo, and I know the East Coast is battling some winter storms right now, so I kind of feel bad to, say 50, 60. We're cold, but we had to turn the heater on last night. We got spoiled down there.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're safe. We're sound. In a way, I'm kind of glad that we got the virus and we got over it and everybody's okay. Fingers crossed there's no kind of weird long-term symptoms that we have to deal with.
And we've gotten some ivermectin down there too to take. So, which is nice, which has been more of a pain to get it here. You can just walk in any pharmacy and get whatever, antibiotics, anything you need there in Mexico, which was kind of cool. One thing we didn't mention was, we got COVID down there. The food's great, but Logan lost his first tooth and got 50 pesos.
Let me see if I can show you this picture real quick.
For his tooth.
And here's a fun fact about Mexican tooth fairies. For little girls in Mexico, the tooth fairy comes and leaves them some money. For little boys, it's a little mouse that comes and takes their tooth and leaves them money behind. And then the boys twisted that into the rat fairy. They end up calling it the rat fairy. So that's stuck now, that the rat fairy has come and visited Logan and left him 50 pesos. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
all right, we're wrapping up Mexico.
Are we wrapping up Mexico? Is there anything else that we
try to wrap this up in about 10 minutes here?
Yeah, we had some favorite things and then some least favorite things you kind of already talked about. I know this has been going on for a while and I already kind of foobarred the beginning of it. I'm sorry, you guys, technical issues. So maybe we'll do another live here in another week or so. But we've got to get the van hopefully this week. We're really hoping tomorrow that the truck.
The box truck.
The box truck. We got to get the box truck, hopefully.
Let's go over a few
tomorrow.
Things here real quick. So we got a few notes here we can just kind of run through real quick. So favorite things and memories about Mexico: food, the weather, handmade goods. Not seeing stuff made in China, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Being able to walk everywhere. It kind of reminded me of like New York City, but not the buildings and everything, but just kind of the hustle and bustle. And you had the vendors and
the street,
people
street
walking
and
around and talking and just that type of atmosphere. Bring cash, get pesos. If you're in the U.S., you can order it through your bank. Usually takes 3 to 5 business days, but highly recommend to bring some pesos because the exchange rate's better here than if you go in the store and you're buying stuff in dollars, U.S. dollars. Let's see. Yeah, the pharmacies, which we talked about. Things were pretty affordable too.
Except in the touristy area. So down by the marina, like the restaurants down there, you're
like
probably going to...
Chris and all kinds of
It was very Americanized.
Stuff.
And you're going to pay American prices down there too. So get off the beaten path. Find the authentic places like,
Google Maps will help tremendously.
Yeah.
You can get reviews and stuff like that. And
go check out Drifter Journeys videos on Cabo and where the best places are to eat.
Things we didn't like so much was the panhandling, just the vendors, just like you're sitting on the beach and you're down there for a couple hours, you probably said no 20 or 30 times.
No.
I mean, I get it, but that's just, it gets old real quick. Like we're talking about the cheaper exchange to get pesos here versus down there, because some places is cash only. That's the places you want to be eating is cash only. Learning to negotiate was a little different. So like obviously you walk into a pharmacy or something and buy some Advil, it is what it is, but the vendors you can negotiate with. So if there's like, hey, you want a shirt, you want a hat, well, hey, it's $20 or whatever, or 200 pesos, and you can you can negotiate.
I think you can still do that to some degree, like with New York City and vendors, like street vendors and stuff.
True.
It's just not a skill that we're used to practicing because we don't live in places like that. We don't really go places like that. Our society here isn't set up like that for the most part.
And then yours is the Walmart navigating, because everything's in Spanish. And
I dislike going to Walmart to begin with, period, regardless of what country we're in. But it just made matters worse that Mexican, Hispanic Walmarts was everything in Spanish, and I'm there trying to Google translate everything because our buddies Andreas and his wife, who are fluent in Spanish, weren't with us at that time. So it took me probably like 2 hours to get through Walmart.
It takes you a long time in any grocery store, but
so that was kind of a headache.
A couple more things. I would not use your debit card. I think Andreas got hacked. Get a credit card or some type of cash card app or something that so if they steal your number, you're protected. There's Uber down there, which I mentioned earlier, very cheaper
than the taxis.
Yeah, and go just about anywhere you want. Find authentic foods, and the more you know Spanish, the better off you're going to be. That's where you get the big deal. So having Andreas and Marlene down there is where they were really interacting and really kind of got the lowdown and got the deals and got us a car up to La Paz, all this stuff. The fishing boat too was a great price. I don't think I've ever been fishing for that amount of money. I think it was more expensive on Flathead Lake even than going out deep sea fishing. So and then the vendors and stuff. So real quick, our future plans, and then we're gonna this guy's over here.
Sorry, we have a paraglider right in front of us. He's taking off. Here, I'll see if I can. He's gonna come right by us. Where is he? There he is. You see him? Power paraglider. Wasn't expecting to see him. He's putting on a show for everybody. There he is. Over there. There he goes.
That's so cool.
Hot air balloons come and take off and land near us too, so you never know what you're gonna see where we're at. Sorry, that's probably pretty noisy. Can you guys still hear us? Okay.
So
let's wrap this up. So future plans: we are going to build the box truck out, hopefully in a very condensed time frame, like a month or so.
Hopefully by 1st of March.
But we'll be in Arizona while we do that, and we've got to get the van sold. And then after the box truck is built out, we kind of foresee ourselves laying a little low this year. We're not going to be doing any huge trips to big national parks, we don't think. We do, of course, want to get out of Arizona for the summer, so whether that means Colorado or Nevada, I don't know yet. Idaho, perhaps.
Yeah. When I say build it out in 30 days, means it's going to be livable, but there's a lot of things that we are going to have to do to the truck over months, which you guys will see. It's going to take it's a process. So to get it completely done, I'm hoping to get it completely done maybe by fall. We may have to hang out, make a little extra money, just things like that. We got a lot of things to kind of figure out, because now we went from we don't know how long we're doing this to, okay, we're going to do this several years. So this is going to be a year of trying to get more situated, fine tune our
so that we can do it
plans.
Long term.
So we have some decisions and things we need to work on, which, like I said, if you guys are subscribed and watch, we'll definitely fill you in.
Yep.
And so probably pretty chill. We'll try to get into some epic places, because we're going to want to test out the four-wheel drive of the box truck and put it to the test. And
if everything goes accordingly, then this time next year, hopefully we will be driving down to Baja,
Yeah.
not flying, and spending a good couple months down there. So if anybody's watching this in the future and it is wintertime in the United States, you want to come down to Baja, let us know, because we want to go with somebody. We would still feel more comfortable caravanning. I know this is way far out, like we're talking this time next year. So January, February of next year would be optimal time, but that's really kind of what we got summed up for this following year. And we will still put out videos, like Kurt had already mentioned. The box truck build will be kind of the focus and the main thing that we've got going on for the first part of the year, probably.
Right, and adjusting to it and the things that we've changed from the van, just like a bunch, and then getting out more remote areas. We're definitely gonna hit up hot springs, and we're just gonna not. We're so gung-ho last year, just go, because we didn't know when this was going to end or whatever. So we're just trying to hit as many things as we could.
Yeah.
And now hopefully we got time, God willing. We're going to slow down and just try to get things really dialed in, so when we go down to Mexico or the following year, hopefully things will be good in Canada and up to Alaska. We can really get this thing broken in, dialed in, and then we can start getting out and traveling more.
So real quick, I want to address some of the comments. Angie said your dad's having technical difficulties on YouTube, so we see that. Thank you, Steve. Really appreciate you. Without
Thanks,
you, we probably wouldn't be able to do what we're doing, because you have really helped us out, and you know how you've helped us out. So thank you. Appreciate it. And Angie, you're also asking, what was the kids' favorite so far? Favorite in terms of what exactly? Mexico, I would probably say Luke learned to finally swim on his own. So he was jumping in, cannonballing, and doing can openers and swimming all over the place. And he finally got comfortable swimming in the ocean. So I'd say that's probably a highlight for him. And then Logan losing his tooth, he loved that. But Logan,
He likes the beach.
Logan loved the beach, playing in the sand. He loved the ATV, riding on the sand on the beach. I don't think anybody really was too excited about the camels, but
The side-by-sides were fun.
Yeah.
Like usual. My sister really enjoyed that. She's never done that.
But the food too. I think they tore up a lot of the tacos. Like, I've never seen them eat as much food as they have than what they did down there. So it was hard to keep everybody fed. We'd order tacos, and then we'd order more tacos. And then we'd go get some Mexican dessert. That's another cool thing, real quick. The Mexican ice cream is different than the American ice cream. Does anybody know why or how? It's in the sugar. They don't put much sugar in their ice creams down there. It's not nearly as sweet, which is a good thing. But then it makes you wonder, why in the heck does America put sugar in everything?
Yeah, like the smoothies, like the mango smoothies. It was just real mango. I mean, there was no sugar at it, like the strawberry ones.
Yeah.
It's so much
it was
better.
Fresh.
Yeah.
It wasn't loaded with sugar. It wasn't too sweet. As a matter of fact, we watched the college football championship at one of the marina restaurants, and it was in Spanish, Georgia and Alabama. We were able to watch that game, and I had ordered
Mojito.
I ordered a mojito to drink, and it was 2 for $1 mojitos, but I actually turned down the second one because I told the server it's too sweet. And which is weird, because everywhere else we went, things were so much more fresh and a little bit more bland, which I like. I don't like all the sugar. And so that's where we told you guys that's where most of the touristy areas are. That's very Americanized. So I just find that really interesting that down there, the sugar and the drinks, it's just like it was in the United States.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
All right, a couple more and let's get
couple
off
more
there.
comments real quick. Riley, hey, what's up, buddy? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Again, sorry if you tried to join earlier and couldn't because we had some problems. And C Insane from Oregon, hello. Thank you guys so much for your support and watching videos and your comments.
We got Jim.
And Jim, thanks for participating. Angie.
Is it dental pretty cheap? Oh, yeah, dental, yep.
Oh, the dental work,
We'll probably go and get our teeth cleaned down there. Yeah. We may do it actually, I don't know, we'll see. We may do that here in the next couple of months, and then we go back down and do it again. But yeah.
Somebody told me the dental work as a whole is cheaper, but like something more serious like caps or something it was could be about the same price as the American dollars, or maybe it was the quality of work.
Yeah, you got to be careful about infection. I think they were talking about.
That's what it was. Yeah, the infection rate. So.
What are you most excited about? The new build. Everything, man.
Yeah.
It's just a total different platform. I mean, the vans are cool, man, but fitting 4 people in a van is just.
The kids are growing like weeds too. They weren't this little when we set out, and we weren't expecting them to grow so fast.
Right, we want to be small and compact so we can get in and out of places. Like we went going to the Sun Road in the van. We're not going to be able to do that in the box truck. So there's always compromising. But I think just overall, the things we learned in the van, the things that we want to improve or make life a little bit easier and more comfortable is going to be in the box truck. So there's a long list there. That's why we're doing what we're doing. We do lists, and if it doesn't really make a ton of sense, especially to go through this whole process, then we're not doing it. So we definitely do our homework and then get it done.
Are there any other questions? Anything you guys want to know? Anything about Mexico or the box truck or the van?
I don't think that's it.
It's starting to get a little chilly here in the desert, and we got to make some food here. And Sir William is about to show up at any moment and get our fire going so we can start cooking. Jim asked, do we already have a buyer for the van? No, not yet.
We've got an offer on the table that we're gonna talk to them this coming week. We're not that far apart, but we need to work some things out. They're not in a huge hurry, and our biggest thing is we got to get the truck back. We got to get the box truck. I just really want to. I mean, we can't get around. Even to sell this thing, you can't find a rental car or whatever. So we at least need to get that back before we really pursue anything. Yeah, I know we put it up early, but I was hoping that we could work. If we did sell it back then, we could work something out to where we sold it before we went to Mexico, and then we'd had the truck was actually supposed to be ready before Christmas. So luckily all this stuff works itself out. So that's why we're not sweating anything. God's in control, man. We're just along for the ride. So things will always work out. So
you just got to let go of that control.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Which is the hard part. Yep.
Seeing saying any plans for meetups? That's not too far off.
That may be a good idea this year, actually.
Yeah, while things are still a little low key for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yep.
We haven't pursued it because we've had some hard stops, and we had family visit for a good chunk of last year, and we knew we were going to Mexico, so
we were busy last year, just running and
we
gunning.
went a lot of places. We saw a lot of things, but I think that could be
Definitely
a real possibility here in the near future when the box truck is finished.
Yeah.
But if you're in Phoenix, if anybody is in the Arizona area and wants to come hang out or help us out with the box truck,
work on the truck.
send us a message. We could always use a few extra hands or a babysitter.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up. It's
getting late, and it's getting a little chilly out here.
These boys are going nuts. They're probably hungry.
You want to say goodbye, boys? Bye.
All right, thanks for everybody. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
And
thanks for sticking through the thanks for sticking through with the technical issues and problems. Sorry that kind of got foobarred. Hopefully you guys got some good information and value out of this. Share the video with people that you like and enjoy, who think that they would maybe like to do something like what we're doing. If you have any questions in the future, send us a message. Appreciate it. Peace out.
peace out.